Welcome back, everybody, to yet another episode here on the O'Shea Vlogcast channel. Sorry to keep y'all waiting, man. You know how it is. We are on. Oh shit! Hold on a second. I'm echoing. I have my stuff going. You know I'm on nigga time, and today, man, I have a wonderful guest on the fly. This is my brother here. You know what I mean. You guys know I love helping out my fellow African Americans. You know I am a little bit biased in certain ways because. This is a black male platform. We have brothers from all over the world. But this brother right here is from not only the African-American culture, but he is from my home state. So, I had to get him on, man, right there in Northern California. You guys know I'm from Sacramento, California. And my brother here is from Oakland, California. I got a lot of love for Oakland. My mom used to live in Oakland. My grandparents, they migrated from the South to Oakland for many years. I lived in Oakland for a half a year before. So the city of Oakland, is very dear to me. And the brother is doing some great things out in the city of Oakland, in the community. And you guys may know him as a subscriber here, as AM1. And today we're going to be talking about the BBQ BECKY situation. And we're going to talk about gentrification in Oakland, California. And as you guys know, Oakland is a very, very big city when it comes to black community things. And so I'm going to welcome to some, present to others, my brother AM1. What's going on, fam?
O'Shea, Manosphere, what's good, y'all? I sound okay? You sound good?
Man, you sound good, man. I told you need to be playing basketball tonight, Steph Curry.
Man, I'm all about that art shit. I never really was a big sports dude. I like working out and be on my fitness game, but I've always been more the artist type. But give me that Steph Curry dough, though. You know what I'm saying? Now, people be throwing that at me, but nah. I mean, we right here in the town. Steph is, they're about to be playing out here. He be around.
All right. So, guys, come in the chat. We got 50 people watching right now, and get the likes up. But also, man, I want you to subscribe to my Bay Area brother. You know what I'm saying? His link is in the description. What's up, Aaron? We got to do a show, nigga. I'm waiting on you. So do me a favor, man. It's one of our brothers here. He has 41 subscribers. I want everybody to go into the description. My man be dropping knowledge. Get in there. Subscribe to the brother. Let's take him to 100 because this is one of our brothers, man. We want to support our African-American brothers and get them up too. But let me get into this whole situation, man. Before we get into the BBQ Becky thing, just let everybody know. We know you're from Oakland. Let everybody know what's going down, what you do out there, how long you've been living there, and, what your role is in the community out there in Oakland, California, brother.
All right, yeah, AM1. Graphic designer, multimedia producer. I run a brand called All Street Looks, All Goods and Services, really pushing black entrepreneurship, really pushing media. It's all hip hop based. Oakland, California. I was born in Oakland, California. Hospital, literally like a mile from where I'm sitting as we speak. Lived all around the Bay Area, South Bay, North Bay, some suburb shit, been in some real grimy hood shit. Nice, spectrum, understanding, what's facing our people. About to be 40 years old. Got a little, experience behind me, but still keep it youthful. Like I said, big hip hop dude, growing up with it, B-boy style, straight B-boy, like that mentality, growing up with hip hop like that, growing up in the Bay, the grime, the grit, the hustle. Black folks, you know what I mean? Like I said, born in Oakland, my mom coming up, me and my older brother walking around. You see a lot of black folks, a lot of black faces. I knew Oakland to be black. We don't get into the gentrification topic. Now it's thinning out. It's a lot of diversity, people using that word. But, kind of seeing it thinning out. And while at the same time, I go extra hard using the media to really try to own and control our music, our culture. You know what I mean? A lot of people talking about for the culture. I'm like, what is that really about? Let's really define that and make sure we owning and controlling that, commoditize that. That's something big I'm gonna be talking about on my channel. My numbers on my channels are real thin, which again, I'll big you up because, I've been following you for years. Like I told you, I'm like literally doing shit, boots on the ground, throwing actual events, doing pop-ups, doing different things here in the town, cross-promoting with other brands, doing shit at like Yoshi's Jazz Club, big stuff I used to geek out on back in the day.
Be popping, nigga.
I used to geek out like, oh, I'm gonna go to Yoshi's and watch your show, or Yoshi's watch your show. Now I've done, gigs with them where they like pay me to help promote and running around backstage filming and whatnot. So it's like, stepping my game up, really living that life that I grew up with and get myself to a point where I can really rock that out. Mm-hmm. Really being about the culture, really being about for the people from the town. Y'all know revolutionary spirit really comes up out of here. And I'm trying to get that coming back. You know what I mean? Firing on all cylinders properly, some black intelligence, some real black excellence shit. We talk about Wakanda forever. I'm like, dude, let's really get that in. Don't just fake be about it. I don't want to be too long winded, but yeah, that's basically.
That's fine. Get your Edward on, dog. You know, we have a guy named Edward Anderson, and he's long-winded. We call it getting your Edward on. So get your Edward on, dog. It's cool.
I heard you just the other day talking about somebody's long-winded as fuck, and it was like a little contest who's more long-winded.
Yeah.
I know I can talk. So when we
you
get
ain't
into
nowhere, you ain't nowhere as bad as Edward Anderson, dog. Trust me. There's nothing you can do to be like him.
People talking about the culture, you know, for better or for worse, I get passionate about that shit. And I'm in a position where I can really do it. I ain't got no kids or nothing. You know what I mean? I got that bandwidth. So it's like, what else is there to do? Try to build for the fam. And own it and control it, commoditize the shit. Like, that's why big ups to what you guys are doing. Some other YouTubers I follow, people talking about economics, people talking about different things. I say we definitely need to do that. We need to support each other. How can we help each other out? Don't step on toes. All that crabs in a barrel shit. We got to stop all that. You know what I'm saying?
Now let me talk to you about this, man, because you know I'm from Sacramento. I was born in Linwood, California. Spent half my life in Los Angeles County. I really say I'm from Sacramento. I spent my golden years in Del Paso Heights, Sacramento, California. But you know what makes Oakland, California, so different than San Francisco or Los Angeles or San Diego when it comes to the Black community? What makes Oakland stand out amongst everybody in Black America as like one of the pillars of Black community thought and Black community liberation and stuff like that?
Man, I mean, we could do a whole stream on that, but like we were talking about before we came on, as you alluded to, with sort of the shipping, the trade, bringing a lot of folks out here from the South, it brought a lot of Black folks out. So we bring in the soul, we bring in the jazz. That came in here and was really saturated. You know how our people are as far as the music, the culture, just the artistry. You know, we ooze that creativity. And then just, the revolutionary spirit out of here, that intelligence. There's a lot of colleges around here. There's something about the energy right around here. I mean, if you think about it, Silicon Valley, tech capital of the world, it should be the soul, music, revolutionary capital of the world, which is kind of the role I'm trying to play. I mean, as the melanin is thinning out, it's losing the soul. I mean, it's kind of hard to put it all together. There's so many reasons. I mean, you could talk about music, you could talk about that, activism spirit, the artist, man. I mean, so many, everywhere you go, our people are just creating, and that vibe is just oozing off. I mean, it's rugged shit, it's grimy shit out here, in the town. But, that's part of the system we're under, the system we're under, the WS system. But, not to, we can get into that, or so it's up to you,
But let me ask you a question. Charles Merchant is also from Oakland, California. He wants to know, what high school did you go to?
I actually went to high school, kind of, up in Fairfield. So, born and raised in Oakland. My mom gets married. She's trying to get us out of North Oakland. So we moved to Union City with my stepdad when they got married. And then moved to Fairfield, trying to win and buy a house and all that. So obviously I'm young, following them around. But I always kept in touch with my folks out in Oakland. So I'm like basically half living somewhere else, which really helped steer my whole situation. But yeah, I went up in high school in Fairfield, which was whack because I basically, all I was doing in high school was just blowing weed, cutting school, rapping all day, freestyling. I was back in my hip hop days when I used to MC and whatnot. That's all we used to do. So I say I kind of went to school out there because I damn near halfway through high school was on independent study, went and worked. You know what I mean? I was like, man, fuck all this bullshit. I intentionally went to a continuation school because it was like half days and I'm in school drawing and whatnot. But yeah.
Shout out to the Federation. Because they're from Fairfield. My Rams. I ain't gonna sing the song right now, but shout out to the Federation. That's one of my favorite rap groups, and you know what I'm saying, Rick Rock. But let me kind of get into this real quick, man. Because before we get into the BBQ BECKY situation, a lot of brothers just wanting to hear that. We look at the city of Oakland, and some of the things that we have saw with the Huey P. Newton and the Black Panther Party. I think her name was Angela Davis and stuff like that. We've seen. The Black Panther Give Back Party organizing food programs. Oakland has a lot of Black people. There's a lot of Black elite wealth that comes out of Oakland. And now we're seeing the city of Oakland, which has at one point a lot of talented, academic Blacks. We are now seeing so much crime in the city of Oakland. We are now seeing so much not only crime, but gentrification. And so what I want to know is, why do we see so much crime in the city of Oakland where, you did have a lot of Black businesses, you did have a lot of Blacks doing very well. Why are we seeing so much, danger in the city of Oakland right now?
Oh man, that's such a deep question. I mean, there's a lot of levels to that. What you just brought up as far as the Black Panthers, the action they was putting together here. One of the presidents around that time said something like one of the biggest threats is the idea that they were helping the poor folks, folks on the block. You know what I mean? Helping them with food. If you can do that, then you're gonna really rally people to your cause. And that was a threat. I would say Oakland, they still know this area has that energy and has that potential. So it's definitely a focused and concerted effort to make sure they bring that sort of San Francisco gentrification vibe over to Oakland. They're trying to make this into these mega cities. If you look at that, what is it, Agenda 21 or something like that, like what they're trying to mega cities, there's that. But I think at the same time, they want to make sure they douse out any kind of potential fire of somebody coming and being low key like an ex Tupac or somebody who's going to push the issue of, are people waking up? And also, as you alluded to, the folks with the money, like if you look at the people talking like economist type stuff like Antonio Moore, Yvette Carnell, like the baby boomers and older who low-key had money, who had maybe generational wealth, are either selling it off or they're just kind of hoarding it. They don't really care about kind of the overall strata. If you want to talk about upper class, middle class to lower class, you know what I mean? So we kind of left hanging in this, if you want to talk in strata, the middle class folks in the hood, they don't have the ability to sort of uplift themselves. The middle class should be the ones trying to do it. But, we all wrapped up and pinned down with what Donald Glover just did or Kanye West just did. It's all head fake shit. So the real answer to your question is how the crime, this grimy shit, the crack freeway, crack in the city or crack in the system.
Yeah.
The crack era. A lot of what's happening in Oakland is remnants of that. That's the Black plight overall, which is nothing but chemical warfare in concert with psychological warfare, us not controlling our own narrative by way of our media. People out here go hard for the town, but then at the same time, the big shit is turn up. Let's have fun. Everything got to be lit. But then when you talk about actually some real intelligence type shit, they're like, oh, you on that old conscious shit. I'm like, whoever flipped it on us to where there's a hit campaign out on being conscious, being aware. I'm not somebody who says conscious community, but how you gonna flip that? You know what I mean? So, you asked me a question that was real deep, so my answer is real convoluted. I could sit for hours and
it's a good answer because you hit on some points. Let me do this, guys. Let me shout out to the brother Super Chat and brother Philip Carlisle. I'm the mod for Solo TV 84. Love the content. Should keep it up, fam. Thank you so much, brother. I always see you. Thank you for the Super Chat. Let me give a shout out, man, to one of my big brothers in the YouTube shit, the Jay Miller podcast. You guys know his previous channel had like almost 30 million channel views, man. He's a talented YouTuber. He's now doing a new channel. He's from the Bay Area. And you guys know he was moderating last night for Field That Vibe show. I got a scheduled appointment with him in December when he's off. So, I'm just glad to have him here. He's a Hall of Fame Black community YouTuber over here. The brother is really intelligent. Thanks for having him over here. He's, just really, really so good for this particular sector. But I want to get to what you were saying, brother. You were talking about selling off the wealth. Now, this is so true. We used to play AAU basketball when I was, still have my flat top and had a hairline. We would come down. My coach's grandmother stayed in East Oakland. We would go play at De La Salle, obviously in Concord. And what I realized is in East Oakland, once the property value started getting kind of high, a lot of people started doing a few things. One, a lot of people started moving to Antioch. I noticed that. Two, people started selling their houses, going to Stockton or going to Sacramento, right? So a lot of the talented people, like you had some people that were like living in Sacramento, driving all the way to Oakland to work and going back home. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the people, when the crime started getting at least, because the demand for the rent in Oakland is like very high because look where it's at. Oakland, San Francisco is like 9 miles away from each other. So other areas started opening up with newer developments with bigger houses, less money in the city. So people started going there as far as Fresno, stuff like that. I noticed that. You talked about the crack era. We all know Oakland's called the city of dope, right? So do you feel that the most talented blacks in Oakland are actually really, really looking for a way out? And this is the same thing that we see all across Black America.
I mean, I see where you're going with that. I wouldn't say it's necessarily the talented folks are looking for a way out, more than it's a matter of we don't have that generational wealth. So we're left vulnerable to if there's an influx of somebody wants to infuse money into a certain area, develop it, and that raises property values. If we don't have the wealth to be able to combat that, then we just trying to stay above water. So if we got to move to Antioch because it's cheaper, we gonna do that. Yeah, people spending hours commuting back and forth. I know people who've done it. I know people who commute from SAC to San Francisco every day. I can't even comprehend that. I mean, God, luckily the longest commute I've ever had was maybe 40 minutes one way. And that's when I lived in Fairfield and would go to SAC or, you know what I mean? Just like, it's crazy. But it's all cycling back to the lack of generational wealth, leaving us vulnerable. It's taken a lot of our people, some of our best and brightest, making them move away. So it diffuses the concentration of, you know, folks who could really be getting it in this area. And the people who can't get out because they're, you know, bearing the brunt of the impoverishment are still here, still generationally saying, all right, well, we just been on some hood shit. So this is all we know. This is all we gonna do. We getting it in, how we can get it. I mean, you know what it is. Where's the coke coming from that they making the crack with? You know what I mean? Like, I'm always on a strategy tip, like, let's get to the real causes. I thought it was real dope what they did with the crack in the system, because it points to the whole situation. What was his name? Gary Webb or whatever, to kill the messenger, like how they really dug into that.
The white guy. They got rid of him.
Shot himself in the head twice. So, you know what the deal is.
Also suicide, yeah.
So, I mean, you know, just kind of answer your question. I don't think people are necessarily trying to get away from the crime per se, because if you talk to a lot of folks in Oakland right now, like you'll see in the video I posted, a lot of folks is like, we ain't leaving Oakland. That's how I feel right now. I feel like I don't want to leave. Out of my window right now, literally the angle I'm looking, I have a window that points basically towards downtown. Nothing but cranes, new developments coming up. People are jumping up and down about gentrification. I talk about, okay, are you trying to get serious and build up some wealth? Because that's the only way you're going to fight that off. A lot of the folks with the money that moved out, sold the wealth off. My grandmother had a house in West Oakland, that one of the first houses I lived in before we moved to Union City. And it was hood over there. That got broken into. That's why my mom wanted to move away, but my grandmother still owned it. She ended up selling that house off, which wasn't a bad or was a horrible idea, because in theory, shit, I could be living in that right now in the same house I lived in when I was little. I mean, they got us set up for failure, man, and we playing into their hands.
Let me talk to you about this real quick, right? Because my brother Aaron wants to know, is there any place? Well, we'll ask at the end. I think the answer is probably definitely a no, because rents are going up. But here's what I want to know, man, and I want your opinion on this. I have a few brothers in the chat, like Jay Miller. I don't think he's no longer in the same city that he grew up in. I know Charles Merchant is in Vegas. So I want to know, man, this whole gentrification, these companies that are coming in, renovating, you know, these homes or these districts. I mean, I was just in Inglewood. I was in Inglewood in December. I'm saying the same thing in Inglewood. Is it black people's fault that they didn't control their own economy, knowing what black people make, knowing the kind of money that we have, knowing the kind of spending power and the type of force that we have as far as money that we have in America, which is more than most African countries? There's no African country that has the spending power that blacks have in America. There's not even many European countries that have the spending power that blacks in America. Why don't we gentrify our own neighborhoods when we have the money to do so, but we don't do it and we want to blame it on others? Do you think there's an argument there for that, or how do you feel about this?
Man, again, you touching on a subject that I literally think about all day, every day. And when I talk to folks about it, I get a whole lot of pushback.
Okay.
Respectability politics. You don't know what you're talking about. You ain't a real nigga. All this different shit. And I'm just like, look, I'm trying to be strategic about it. Maybe the fact that I have moved around and experienced certain, you know, different areas, you know, from on a block, Deep East Oakland, growing up, running around as a kid. I was in Deep East Oakland that a babysitter came up with, and, you know, basically a second family was always there running around. D-boys was running around through the backyards, cracking the streets. You know what I mean? This is us running around, little kids, you know, grimy shit, all the way to Union City. It's all birds is chirping and the sunshine and whatnot, seeing different, you know, ethnicities and whatnot. I say all that to say the diversity of the Bay Area it helps you kind of understand this from a different perspective, so you can't just box yourself into a certain mentality. So what it is, it's all circling back to the idea that with all the money potential that we have, like you said, what is it? Something like it's something crazy, like $1 trillion or something a year or something.
$1.4 trillion spending power.
Yeah, something's ridiculous. Like you said, more than a lot of countries like GDP. So I'm like, the real answer, what keeps circling back to me, just trying to play a strategy game, is we do not control our own media. So by that logic, we are not controlling our own communication lines. So what it is our people are tapped into non-Black owned mainstream who's saying, go buy the red bottom shoes, go buy some Puma, go buy some Nike, go buy this, go do this, go keep up with what white society is doing. That was never meant for us. So we're too busy chasing after what they're doing and not focusing inward. That's the problem. For me, as far as I'm concerned, as a person who creates media, and I know, because with the piece that we're going to get into, I shot that and framed it in a way where I can show you high percentage Black folks chilling at Lake Merritt in Oakland, having a good time, showing how we really get it in like a family barbecue. Meaning I skewed the message like that on purpose because it's true. But fucking around with their media, they're going to have you thinking every dude is on some turn up shit. Every woman is on some wild out shit. The rise of the ratchet shit. You know what I mean? Like just keeping it super real. We got to put mirrors in our own faces. So the question you asking is super duper hardcore. You get a lot of heat for that, but we got to do it. You know what I mean? Because it ain't no more time to play around. You asking them real ass questions. So yeah, I'll be real long winded with that. But no, man, like I boil it down to this. We have the resources, and I say they know we have the resources, so they gotta keep us distracted. They gotta keep us tripped up. They gotta, keep these stars. Perfect example. NBA, NFL, high percentage players, Black folks, the owner percentage totally skewed the opposite direction. Why are we not owning and controlling our talent? What's up with that? Record label shit. I mean, hip hop overtakes pop as the most, absorbed, listened to music. But back in the, like I'm a big hip hop dude. I grew up with it. I got older brothers, older cousins, had me immersed in it early in the 80s when I was a kid. So all my living memory surrounds hip hop shit. My mom was supportive of it. So I say all that to say, I grew up and see the power that it has or had more so. The spectrum was wider. But then even from jazz to soul, you know what they did. I'll ask you this. Imagine back in the day watching a show on, the big shows where Michael Jackson would do something new, where he first moonwalked across, you know what I mean? It'd be Michael Jackson, Patti LaBelle, Aretha Franklin, like all in the same show. Imagine that right now today. There's nothing like it. It's not possible. Why is that? Because we did not control our media. That's one of the biggest things we had as far as Black culture is being captured and weaponized back at us. And with that, our understanding of economics and focusing that in the right direction is skewed. We're trying to just blend into the dominant society, to use that phrase, and by extension, we're liquid money, you're liquid cash. Have you heard that? The reference when people say certain groups reference us as liquid money because we're not circulating our shit in our communities. We just sending it out there. It's a problem, man.
Let me ask you this. See, I'm echoing.
Is that me? Is that because of my shit?
I don't know. It's okay now.
I could go grab.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Let me ask you this, man, because I want to get to, before we kind of get to the actual story, I kind of want to just set the basis because I want to clear it up, man. Oakland, California has to be probably where I've met some of the most elite. The first Black Episcopalian family I met is in Oakland, California, in Sacramento, in the Bay Area. You have a lot of, go to the Oakland Hills and you'll see a lot of Black elites, especially around that area. A lot of intelligent Blacks there that are not publicized come out of the city of Oakland. Oakland is a great place when you see talented Blacks at. But we do have a great sense of violence. And you're telling me a story, man, like of what happened to you, if you don't mind sharing that, because you said you were comfortable with that. And I'm just thinking, like, what happened to you this particular day, man, would have made anybody else leave. But, you're a guy trying to help the community and this happens to you. Kind of talk about a situation that you had just a few months ago with the armed robbery.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, as over the past few years, navigating my own freelance design career, building that up, parallel with that. And for years, coming from, again, being a big hip hop dude, doing media, I used to MC and whatnot, throwing events, tying that all together into my brand, All Street Looks. We do streetwear, event promotion, marketing, and then this media, this web series type stuff I really want to do. And in trying to build up this content, reaching out to different artists, people who I feel like are really trying to push the culture, push the music in a proper direction. I'm interviewing a good brother named Brookfield Deuce. He's from the Brookfield area, deep East Oakland. Real dope MC. You definitely got to check him out. He's on Dame Lillard's label. Dame Lillard's on Portland Trailblazers. Obviously, super elite basketball player, but he bars up too. You'll see it's interesting that the NBA doesn't push that. That's real strategic. That's on purpose.
Okay.
But so I'm interviewing Brookfield Deuce in deep West Oakland. Specifically, there's a little strip over there where there's a new development. So we specifically went over there for the purposes of using that as a backdrop for the interview. It's the middle of the day. So for the most part, we ain't expecting too much, but it is just me, him, and his girl. She's off sitting in the car. So we're kind of walking around in this park, interviewing, getting some real dope shots, chopping it up about his music, chopping it up about gentrification, and specifically what we're talking about here. How and why Black folks need to really, get our heads collectively out of our asses and game up, level up. And it's so crazy. I had this real dope shot of him walking down the street. He comes back down. And the camera I had this like gimbal with it. So the shot is all steady. I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is going to be so saucy when I edit this. So we get over to this one little monument placard thing, and he's sitting talking about it and getting this real dope shot. And my back is to the street. And at a certain point, everything, moves in slow motion. And I'm looking at his face as I'm talking, because I'm interviewing for the last half hour. And he starts looking at me in this funny sort of way. And he's looking to the left, to his left, to my right. And then all of a sudden he's like, move. I turn thinking it's just a bus pulling up, because we're standing next to a bus stop with this little plaque thing next to it. And sure as shit, as I turn, car moves up. It's like slow motion. All I see, dude with a mask, and it is a black man, locks, hoodie on, mask. And I see burner, barrel coming at me. And he immediately opens the door, hops out, windows already down. Give me the camera, give me the camera, give me the camera. I turn and look at Deuce. Deuce just gives me this head roll type scenario. Mind you, this is all in a split second, but it's in slow motion. I turn, hand him the shit thinking, okay, if I try to run, I'm out in the open, I'm exposed. If this dude is really about that life and he starts popping off, there ain't enough for me to hide behind. Thinking it's camera, you know what I mean? It's my shit, but I ain't trying to, risk my life over it. I hand him the joint. And I kind of just walk away, and I could tell, kind of looking at dude's eyes, I get the feeling he really wasn't trying to do shit. He was just like, really give me the camera. I hand it to him. I feel hella weak. I'm like, damn, they got me. What can I do? I walk off. I still had this bag in my hand, a camera bag that had the extra gear in it. But these fools hit the block and come back. And Deuce even said, hey, you gave that up too easy. These niggas about to come back. Sure shit. He's walking to his car. We just kind of stunned. I've had guns pulled in my face before. I've been in some, pretty fucked up ratchet type situations, some real hood shit.
Okay.
But it's been a while, you know what I mean? I don't even be in those type of scenarios like that. I'm my fucking square ass. I'm too busy for that shit. I'm on some grown man shit. What the fuck I look like?
Right.
But it was just crazy, man. They hit the block, sure enough again, came back and rolled up on him and his girl, thinking we was all going to the same car. I'm hitting the other direction. They pulled back, realizing he didn't have shit, and they come and looking after me. So I'm like looking, damn, run down the street and I run behind these houses. I'm like, oh shit, are they really about to come hit me up and really get it in? I'm like, damn, my car keys, they're gonna try to hit me. They come up and was like, give me the laptop, thinking the bag I had, like some shit like this. Give me the laptop. Passenger side dude hops out, gun again. Give me the shit. I'm like, hey, I give it to the dude. I'm like, hey, y'all got me. Y'all got everything. They peel off. And I'm just like, damn. I go hop in a whip. We skirt off and we drive into downtown, sit in park, and we just both was stunned. I'm like halfway, like, I can't believe that shit just happened. The other half of me is like, I'm mad as fuck. But then I'm like, what am I gonna do? It was kind of cool though, because I mean, obviously it's not cool, but I announced it on Facebook that it happened, kind of in shock, because the main issue was the camera that I had is one of those does the Osmo. So it's like you're using your phone as the viewfinder. So as it all happened, I'm like, I ain't got no phone. I ain't got shit. So I go to the house and let people know, like, hey, if you're trying to hit me, I ain't got no phone. I go to the Sprint store, I have to, re-up a new phone, or transfer numbers to my old phone, just a bunch of bullshit. But a lot of people came through and showed a lot of support and immediately was like dropping me PayPal joints. It was dope. Like that uplifted me in a lot of ways. People, and it's dope too to see how a lot of people that's acting like they're rocking with you. Like I do a lot of community work, a lot of different events. People kind of know my stance on a lot of stuff. I try to make opportunities and have done it. Straight facts, not trying to pat myself on the back. Created a lot of situations, opportunities for artists, up and coming artists, me doing music myself, doing events, making sure I'm getting people on stages, trying to help people get it in and get that art out like we're supposed to be doing, right? So some people who you would think would chime in and be like ready to support, people are like, oh, that's fucked up to happen. But random ass people that I hardly even see was peeling off hundreds, was, just showing crazy love, which was dope. So that's the story with that. Now, as far as the impact of it, half the battle was me. I mean, we was just overexposed. It was about noon. So we thinking, it ain't like it's at night. Most of the type of niggas that's going to get it in like that, low key ain't even up. But there has been a rash of that going on. So if you understand Oakland, the town, everybody, so many artists, so many creatives, people running around a lot with cameras. So that's a big thing in the past few years. If you were to look up like robberies, just imagine the ones that haven't been reported. Like I didn't report mine because I was like, whatever. Plus, I feel some kind of way about reporting and maybe getting the next black man locked up and helping those stats. So I kind of had to fight that battle in my head. A lot of people's like, no, you got to report. You got to report. I was like, man, I don't really like fucking with cops like that.
Okay.
But all in all, I know what it is. It's the town. It goes down like that. It in no way made me think I want to move. If anything, it made me focus back on the idea of that we are being poisoned and polluted by the kind of imagery that's out there. And the oppression is real, you know what I mean? But in a lot of cases, a lot of cats is intentionally being on some dusty nigga shit and just being lazy. Like, why go get a job when I can just ride around and just rob niggas? If I can just sell dope. But I'm like, bruh, it's chemical warfare. They did it to us. If we do it to our own people, I don't know how we can justify that. I've asked people that question sometimes and they get real tripped up. And I'm like, I mean, if we're going to be real about it and be honest, I don't know. So, it's a lot of things, a lot of different angles. If anything, it made me think I just want to go harder for the media shit. Like I said, I do a lot of work, specifically try to do community-oriented stuff for my people. It was a blow to me, but it was more fueling the fire. Like, okay, I need to go harder. You know what I mean? I was able to, get my phone again, get a new phone, ramp up some client work, finally got a new camera, new setup. That's how I'm able to, come back, produce my media. All in all, I'm like, look, they hit me for that shit, but I have skills and creativity and talent where I'm about to bar up again. I mean, I definitely did. You know what I mean? My new setup, like looking back at it, I can kind of low key just laugh at it to a certain degree. Cause I'm like, man, they try to fade me. Your boy bounced back 1,000 times more hardcore. Okay. So I'm back at it, still doing the same shit I'm trying to do and come heavy with it. I don't feel like I want to leave the town. In some ways I do. I need to travel more. I've only lived in the Bay Area. I know people that have went and lived overseas, went and lived in New York for, 5 years at a time. I've never done that. We was talking about that earlier as far as living somewhere else. Mr. Research talking about you really get an understanding when you live in other countries. You know what I mean? I don't have that experience under my belt, but I try to keep a real open mind. So to a certain degree, I think globally, but I rep my people here for the town because of that revolutionary spirit. I think we should anchor that here. So that's part of the reason I don't want to leave. But, because I freelance and can kind of wiggle how I need to, I don't necessarily have to leave. You know what I'm saying? I could just go get it in and do whatever I want to do. But I feel like we need to anchor this here.
Let me ask you. Am I echoing, guys? Let me see.
You sound cool to me.
Okay. You got fucking robbed. I gotta just, and I really feel where you're coming from. A nigga robbed you, took your shit, and nigga had the nerve to not even drive off. Let me flip a bitch and come back, nigga. Let's think about that, nigga, just real quick. I mean, I gotta get nigga. I got a code switch. Okay, so we're gonna go into the nigga section of the motherfucking interview. You know what I'm saying? Because
oh shit,
nigga didn't just rob you once. These niggas is bold, dog. Think about what the fuck just happened to you. Nigga took your camera. You out there in the community trying to do something nice for the community, trying to edit for the community and all this shit. Nigga comes up in a ski mask. Like, this nigga was out here. It wasn't like, this nigga was like, up, nigga with a camera. They put my shit on. Ski mask, hoodie, 35 guns. He gets you for your shit. Then you walking away. This nigga bold enough to not even say, oh, they might call the police. This nigga don't give a fuck. He comes back around and robs your ass again for your laptop bag, whatever condoms you had, empty motherfucking, packets of gum. I'm thinking to myself, how the fuck do you even want to even stay around motherfuckers like this? Because it's a lot of niggas in Oakland that's like that, nigga. It's a lot of niggas in Sacramento like that. Shout out to my man, Jay Miller podcast, because the jacket got killed on similar circumstances. Dog, I mean, you're saying like, you don't want to call the police. I feel that because I don't like the police. Shit happened to me before. I ain't gonna talk about. I ain't called the police. But it's like, do you know what you're up against in certain aspects, dog? Like, obviously, you know what the fuck you're doing. You got some shit going. You're a smart dude. Why stay there when you got robbed by some? That could be your life next time. Why would you even risk it?
Man, you know what? Like, it's funny. I think about that all the time. I was just on a gig just last night, downtown Oakland, in a spot where, some homies of mine, like one of my dudes, rapper, has been in the game for a while. Zion I. Look up Zion I.
Okay.
My dude. He was on a shoot with a crew. They had like a fat red camera, some other joints. Some whole team was watching him. I guess it was 2 dudes or more. They rolled up on him, put guns on everybody else, jacked the camera. Another crew of mine, they was filming something for some kind of show. I mean, this is like, I just had some little camera. You know what I'm saying? These are whole like camera crews getting jacked for like major shit. People being held up at gunpoint. You know what I mean? I say to say it's a lot of that going on, but I was at this gig last night in this area where some of that has popped off, and I'm always watching my back now. I mean, I've always done that. I mean, it's a town, I know what it is, but I'm just extra hyper aware, and I'm always just watching my back that much more. I think about it, but I'm like, look, if it's my time, it's my time, and I ain't the type to just be ran up out the hood like that. You know what I mean? Like, Oakland is beautiful. Don't get it wrong. Mm-hmm. I would say there's more beauty and artistry and creativity in Oakland. That's why I don't want to leave. And like I said, we need to really anchor that here. So if it is by way of, the financial situation, running black folks up out of here, or we being ran up out by our own people, I mean, come on, man. I mean, I get it, but I can honestly say maybe I'm tripping. I've never really had a bone in my body that said I want to move because of that. I don't really operate in circles where that can really pop off. But then again, I am out and about with gear, doing different things. So it could pop off. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely looking into getting on sort of more that prepper type tip and getting the legal carry, concealed carry type setup. That's something I urge a lot of us to get into, especially how they wilding out. I think there was some kind of just shooting. I woke up, there's some school shooting in Texas. I mean, I'll get into that on my channel, but I definitely think
talking about that tonight. Is there such thing as white terrorism? That will be tonight, y'all. Does white terrorism exist? That will be after this show. So guys, be ready for that.
Big topic. But yeah, man, it's not making me feel like I want to run up out. If anything, it's kind of making me like I want to do more. I mean, it's an opportunity. We need to tap in and lock that in and educate our people again, like on the media. There's a lot of cats doing shit because they actually are broke. There's less opportunity, but they can't move because they don't have the resources. It's a problem. Part of that is the folks who have the ability to do it need to be aware and be willing to do more, just as I am. But if I say that type of shit, then people want to say, oh, well, you on some goody two-shoes shit. You want to shame other people into being as active as you are, or whatever. And I'm like, no, it's the people. How did they phrase it? The people who need the change aren't willing. Oh, I forgot. I'm sleepy as fuck. But you know what I'm saying? Like the people who have the ability aren't willing, and the people who need it. I forgot how the phrase goes, but I talk to a lot of folks who ain't off into some wild hood shit, and I'm kind of breaking it down like, hey, look at the numbers. If what Antonio Moore and Yvette Carnell get into, talking about the wealth numbers, Claude Anderson saying like we own and control the same percentages we did as far as American wealth as we did right after slavery. So I'm like, if that's true, if that's even a fraction of a percent true, I think we low key need to drop everything and address that. We need to look into our folks who are bearing the brunt of that, not in a judgmental way, but just in a way where we're being truly vigilant and observant about that. Let's get on some strategy shit. But well, how are we going to do that when you talk to folks and you're like, hey, it's really not looking good for our people overall? And they're like, no, everything is fine. Beyonce killed it at Coachella. Our culture is thriving. I think we're looking good. Cardi B, she's rising, you know, there's a rise of that. Or, you know, everything is lit. Everything is turned up. Everything is fine to me. I'm good. But mind you, these are like college educated, multiple degrees, so-called middle class folks. They don't care about what's going on in the hood. In fact, they're attracted to hood type things because it's being glorified. People are like, yeah, we about to go turn up at the trap club. I'm like, no. I've heard women say that. I'm gonna go get my friend. I'm gonna take her to the club. We're gonna turn up to some trap shit and it's gonna get real ratchet. And I'm like, that's real cute and that's real funny. Have you ever been on a trap? Do you know what that actually means? I've actually said that to people. Do you know what the word trap actually means? I'm like, no, what does it mean? And I'll tell them, I'm like, from my understanding, that's a more Atlanta down south type phrase for basically a court. That's a dope track. And they're like, oh, I never knew that. And I'm like, have you ever been on a dope track? Have you ever been somewhere where niggas is just out there getting it in, serving fiends? Fiends is popping out the bushes, scurrying away, coming up, handoffs, you know,
windows and shit.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like crack pipes on the street, condoms out on the street, blowjob happening.
Doing Cali, we got them alleys and shit. So
go do that. I'm like, no, don't go turn up at the trap spot because it's, you know, it's lit, it's turned up. Don't go do that. Go to an actual trap, an actual dope track, kick it there for a night, and you tell me how lit that shit is. If we're gonna let some people glorify that,
right?
They look like us.
Let me do this. Shout out to Carlos Jean. Salute O'Shea, my brother Carlos Jean. In the moderator awards, they are on, right? We're gonna have like the OG moderators. We got some new ones. Shout out to the new ones like Casper, you know what I mean? But the guy that's been around, Justice for All, Carlos Jean, you know what I mean? You know, the old guys. Shelly Sterling, I ain't seen her in a minute. Respect to the brother AM1, just subscribe. Great convo on the real topics. Brothers, I want you to stop the show real quick. I want everybody, right? Because I want to get the brother to 100 subscribers. He has 44. Let's all get into the description. Subscribe to the brother. Subscribe and hit the bell, right? Because, like I said, again, you know, like I said, I love my black brothers. You know, a lot of us, you know, I work with all brothers. You know, Carlos Jean, even though he got that good hair and shit, he's still one of our African-American brothers in certain ways because he got that, you know, more hairline than I do. But, you know, this is a brother from California. You know, he lives in, from Oakland, California. I like to, when I see our African-American brothers, our black brothers in the States that are, you know, citizens of the States, I like to try to promote our black brothers, because here's the thing. I'm gonna talk to you about this AM1 before we get into the topic. The problem I see coming out of Northern Cali, and a Jay Miller podcast can verify this. When it comes to black men, like me, AM1 and Jay Miller podcast, the only way you really can find other intelligent black men is like on the internet. It's hard for us to find another black man that is doing the same certain things that we are trying to do. You know, it's very difficult. That's why, you know, a lot of us that are, you know, congregate so much, like, you know, on the Jay Miller podcast channel, you know, on this channel, you might see them guys going to BJ's hangouts, because there are not a lot of black men who really care about black male issues. There are not a lot of black men that's caring about the things that we want to talk about, man. And it makes it very difficult when you come up, you know, in California, where you have a lot of niggas that if you talk to them about certain deep issues, you probably can get them out of it. But, you know, a lot of guys are not thinking about the issues that this brother's talking about. You know what I mean? And in the West Coast, you know, we have a lot of black men who may feel like this, but don't want to talk about it. So we don't have a lot of black male forums that we can talk about things like this. And it makes it so much difficult to find another black male entrepreneur, to find a black male dentist, a black male attorney, you know, and we don't have a network to find these guys where they're at. And so this is what we're trying to do, you know, get our black men out here that are doing certain things, certain situations across the world. So, you know, as African-American men, we need to, and black men in America, you know, regardless of what you are, and are British, you know, black men, hey, here's a forum where we're starting to really reach out to one another. Let's link up. Okay. So let's subscribe to the brother, hit the bell on his channel, right? The brother is up and coming. We have 163 people watching right now. He'll be coming back. So I want all you black men who are listening to do this, right? Because you always say, you know, we don't have enough black men that are in media, black men and stuff. here's an opportunity to get our brothers out there, and we can start off small. So I need everybody to subscribe. Go to the description, subscribe here, hit the bell. Now let's kind of get into this main topic.
Well, let me chime in on a second. What you said, pure gems. As far as reaching out to other Black men and talking about these kind of topics, there's sort of this dichotomy. There are some brothers out here who really get it, who understand what's going on, and who are willing to be that Black man who isn't the stereotype and is willing to be themselves. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're not we're on some hood shit, because apparently some of our people associate that or self-identify like you ain't Black if you ain't on some wild shit, if you are artistic, if you are creative, if you're a lot of different things that real niggas don't do, such and such and such, fill in the blank. So there's a lot of cats in Oakland that are on that level, but at the same time, they don't have that sort of fighting spirit to the degree that they're not willing to be vocal about it, because they don't want to have to deal with the other cats who will be like, man, fuck you. You on some respectability politics. You on some whitewash shit. You ain't no real nigga. There's cats who aren't willing to sort of go up against that. Okay. But see, that's kind of my upbringing. I've been in sort of both sides of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm definitely a creative dude. I'm a square ass nerd, light skinned dude who's always spoke well. I've been all that, piss colored, all that. You know what I mean? I can get into the colorism shit, and I'm gonna get into more shit on this AM1 channel, which is gonna be me more talking shit, and you'll see my perspectives on kind of the work that I do and the impact that it has. Mm-hmm. My other channel, All Street Looks, that's based on my brand, all heart, all hustle, all street looks. If you follow that channel, both of those channels are real thin right now, because I literally am doing more boots on the ground work, and I'm wearing a bunch of hats, doing a lot of shit. So O'Shea, again, I big you up and thank you a lot for even bringing me on here. Seeing my numbers is super slim. That says a lot. So to your following, y'all know y'all really rocking with a cool dude, because he's even ready to holler at a dude who ain't even got no proper numbers. I mean, that means a lot, meaning you ain't just trying to rock with somebody who got big numbers, just for the sake of the numbers. I commend you for that. But yeah, if you follow me on the AM1 channel, I'm definitely going to be dropping some content. You get to know kind of more of my thought process and what I'm doing, and really just trying to bridge that gap between, let's get that conversation going, the stratification of Black men. Are we going to get our own backs? Are we going to undercut each other? Some people will say, if you point to the Black men or the Black people who maybe aren't representing us in the best way, if you say something about it, then you're judgmental, you're judgy, you're hating, you're this or you're that. You're on some old shit. You're on some old head. If you talk about the music, you know what I mean? All these different sort of straw man arguments that somebody could use to hide behind, when it really is basically saying, look, are you stepping your game up to represent to the fullest? You know what I mean? And that's a sacrifice, and that's a struggle for a lot. I mean, think about this. Dusty ass niggas that just want to stay dusty because they don't want to have to face the facts. They don't want to have to step the game up. I know it's hard. I get it. But what, you gonna grind that shit out? Or you just gonna acquiesce to being, you know, the man is oppressing me. You got his boot on my neck. Well, what the fuck are you doing? You gonna get him up off your neck? Or you just gonna bow down and be like, man, nah, I'm just on this. This is just me. You see what I'm saying? I know you know. Yeah. So it's a hard game. But that's kind of where we at. More brothers need to understand that and be honest, intellectually honest, be willing to speak on it and come together. Because it shouldn't have to be, I'm reaching out to the homies that's doing shit online and tapping in. And I'm like, wow, these dudes are really coming together doing some cool shit. You all the way way in Poland. I'm like, bruh, you made a real good point with that. Meeting like-minded people online versus just right here in the streets. They are right here on the streets, but they're not willing to be vocal about it. You know what I mean? Not to be long-winded, but yeah, we can get into this.
No, you getting your Edward on, dog. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Eritrean dude. I believe it's a Black African, our race issue. We don't build bridges. Thank God for the Negro spirit. LOL. That's my brother Eritrean dude. He was in, if I'm not mistaken, a few months ago. He was in Atlanta, getting his Atlanta on in the strip club. He had pennies bouncing him off of bitches' booties and shit. So shout out to my brother right there. Good to see him. Let's get into the nitty gritty, man. So my brother, he had commented on, you guys know, earlier today. I was trying to get my O'Shea King Productions on, where, you know, like I said, I love the manosphere. You know what I'm saying? I've been over here for about 3 years, and I have this little, you know, we have our own section of the Black manosphere on YouTube is in different partitions. And then, you know, my partition of it is the Negro manosphere, but I'm still, I guess you would consider me to be part of the larger Black manosphere here on Black YouTube, because there is some correlation. Even though people, you know, are not really so, you know, together as we used to be, but there is the Black Manosphere. And what I wanted to start doing, and shout out to Phil at Vice Show, which he started doing the debates. You guys know we do debates here all the time. And Cynthia G yesterday reached out to me on Phil at Vice's show, and she said that she wanted to debate Anthony Brian Logan here on my channel. And you guys know Anthony Brian Logan comes here all the time. Anthony Brian Logan, in fact, won the NegroManosphere.com's political YouTuber of the year. Press 2 if you've seen Anthony Brian Logan's plaque, because he always shows it off on these podcasts, right? We sent him a nice plaque. Shout out to my man, Minutes Before Midnight. Thank you for the show, brother. No, thank you, man, for your support. So it's because of your support, brothers, that we were able to send out the plaques. We spent over $700 on plaques for our award show that we did for the moderators. So she probably notices that we have these kind of debates that come on all the time. And so my brother, people were just going crazy in the comment section about the debates, and I was even willing to put up money for Cynthia G against ABL. I have talked to Anthony Brian Logan, and he said that right now he's not interested in it, but if he does, I'll definitely do it. I'll definitely put up money to see New Possibilities versus Cynthia G, because I feel that the Manosphere deserves that kind of debate in our sector. And then so the brother said he'll debate Cynthia G, brother AM1, and he had an issue with this whole BBQ Becky situation that everybody's been talking about. So what I want to do is I want to give the mic over to the brother, and let's talk about the BBQ Becky situation that happened in Oakland, because he's there on the scene. So brother, kind of tell us about the whole BBQ Becky situation that's been going on.
Man, so I mean, it's kind of stupid myself when I first peeped, because again, I live downtown Oakland. Lake Merritt legit is like minutes away. If I walk out of my building, bam, 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 I'm at Lake Merritt. So it's around the other side of the lake. There's a spot, just to give the history on it. Oakland has always been more the soul of the Bay, the soul of Northern California in general, just kind of the history of it, black folks, black music, the culture. So for the most part, walking around Oakland, you're going to see mostly black folks, and it's been that way for years. Based on the gentrification thing we addressed earlier, we're seeing the numbers filter out. We're getting different people coming in, different money, different people who have different interests and want to clear out certain folks, the undesirables, you know what I'm saying? So some folks is kicking at the lake just like any other Sunday. It happens all the time. Nobody's policing it like that. The police ain't tripping. You know, shit pops off. But I mean, at the lake, I mean, for the most part, downtown is more relatively peaceful than certain little cuts and little pockets and little hoods. So it ain't like it's popping off on some super duper wild shit. But as more people have come in, getting into the spring, summer, it's a park. So you got to understand, lake, there's the whole lake. It's like 3 miles around it or something like that, 3.5 miles. There's parks all around it. People are getting it in. It's beautiful. Of course you would want to go chill at the lake. It's dope. It's hella dope. I'll show you. You guys see the video. You'll see it. So, of course, people want to kick it out there, barbecue. So they're getting it in. The woman pulls up on them and is sweating them over the charcoal, supposedly. You're barbecuing charcoal on a grill. She said something stupid like, it's costing tens of thousands if somebody gets injured or children get injured. Something about, I've never heard somebody say something about some barbecue in a park. I looked at some comments on somebody's YouTube video and they're like, why don't you let the park police deal with that? I'm like, what is it with this good Samaritan woman that's getting it in on these black folks? It's just bullshit. But it's funny because one of the dudes, his wife, rolls up and she's white. She pulls up on her, unbeknownst to the BBQ Becky. She rolls up on her and is filming her. So everybody's seeing this now infamous video where she's really just getting on her line and just checking her. Like, why are you messing with them? Why are you messing with them? And I guess at some point she holds up a card or something to that degree and the woman grabs it. The woman actually then tried to flip the script. I mean, you look at the video, see it. The woman says, she flips the script and say, why are you harassing me? Then she walks away and it turns into this whole white tears cry fest. It's actually hilarious. I mean, you watch her, she's breaking down. She's getting in front of the cop. It's hilarious, but it's like angry. When I first saw it, I was livid. Like I couldn't even watch the whole thing. I had to watch it in pieces because it was just having me burnt up. I was like, you know what? I need to hurry up and get my some more content out on this AM1 channel because I really need to get into this. Because a lot of people ain't gonna talk about it like how I set it up or don't have the resources to do what I did. You know, the reference to the video. So that happens a few weeks ago, and it just so happened that there's an event, a 510 day. Our people are Oakland. Our people are Oakland. I'm not sure if that's even grammatically correct, but is what it is. That event just celebrated its third year last week or a week and a half or so ago. That event was already happening. So people are posting articles, different outlets saying in response to the racism BBQ Becky situation, Oakland throws a barbecue. Entirely inaccurate. So there's something to be said about that, because I've mentioned it to certain people and they're like, yeah, well, so what if that's wrong with that, if they're portraying it as that being the response? I say, yeah, there is a lot of cooning and buffooning and dancing, you know, when something pops off. I've seen marches where right after somebody got shot and there's protests and they turn into marches and then they turn into a sideshow and fools are dancing. Jason Black and Professor Black Truth getting on people's head about that. And I totally agree. If some shit pops off, the last shit in SAGs, it's Devontae Clark shit, like, or what's his name? I'm getting the brothers' names mixed up. So the one gets shot and then his brother.
Devontae, you're right.
Fuck out.
Stephon Clark is his name. Devontae's his brother.
Devontae's brother. Yeah. He was wilding out, illing out, kind of cooning out. People was like, well, you can't really police somebody's grieving. I'm like, well, if you're grieving, you might want to just go grieve for yourself. Don't allow yourself to be weaponized against the greater, you know what I mean? Like, I think this shit through, you know what I mean? You got to be careful how you represent yourself, because we don't control our media. We don't control our narrative. Okay. Perfect example in this case. They're skewing it in the direction that's saying, well, Oakland responds with a barbecue. That's not accurate. 501 Day is celebrating its third year. Now, because of the community work that I do and the media work I do, I popped down over there, literally rode down over my bike, brought my camera. I know some of the organizers that was there. They sent me a Facebook invite. I was like, yeah, I'm going to pull up. So I go over there. It's a lot of folks I know. Pull out the camera. I'm filming. Didn't know what I was going to walk into. Didn't know what I was going to get. But then pull folks aside, get interviews. And it just so happened that one of the dudes who was actually at the original barbecue being harassed by BBQ Becky was there. He goes by Deacon. Pulled him to the side. Super perfect timing. Was able to get the interview with him. You'll see that in the whole piece put together. But even some more other local artists, activists, like Davey D, is actually a hip hop legend, activist, somebody who understands sort of the politics and what goes on behind this. But based on the activism and sort of support for racism, he gave a whole different sort of gamed up perspective as far as this woman looks like somebody who's been sort of at these alt-right rallies and these kind of things that have popped up even at Cal and Berkeley, which I always thought was interesting, because it's like they know California's supposed to be super liberal. Why would they have some kind of like the Milo or Yiannopoulos dude? He was coming to speak there and they was trying to shut him down, and people saying, well, that's not free speech, or some kind of neo-Nazi type rally stuff was going on. There was some fighting and whatnot going on. I was like, why are they even setting that up? This seems kind of staged on some like false flagish type shit. But David E pointed out that she looks like she might be some kind of low-key agent provocateur type person, you know, who was trying to do these things, at the very least, to use the police as a tool to destabilize folks and just basically run us up off the leg. Part of the whole gentrification campaign is let's keep these people off balance and fuck with them, so it'll make them not do the same shit they've been doing for decades. So we get his perspective and some different folks, some of the organizers, making it real clear. This is 510 Day in its third year. We was already doing this. I made that real clear to make sure that, you know, I was asking him. But in talking to the dude, Deacon, who was there, it's dope. You watch how he brushed it off. He's like, I ain't leaving Oakland. I'm just going on about my business. Like he keeps his super duper G. And I talked to him even beyond then. I got his number, see him again, because there's another big thing going on on Sunday. So we about to get it in even on another level. Apparently there's about to be a bunch of news, media, local, which is very important, because again, we need to be able to control our own narrative and tell the story right. These people are saying, basically, some racism type shit happens, and here we go with the good old black people. What's the big line dance thing? You know, you see it in the video, everybody's just dancing. Black folks is always just dancing and smiling and just shucking and jiving, even in the face of a racism type gentrification situation. But that's actually not true. 510 Day was already going to happen. Now that is in response to gentrification, but it's basically a peaceful protest. It's a sit-in. So, you know, you can't just try to relegate it to black folks is cooning it up in response. It's different. You know what I mean? Here in the town, we've been through this type of stuff. We know what it is. And just the sheer act of saying, look, we're about to extra turn up even more just by doing the same shit that we've always been doing. That's a sit-in. So people need to understand that's more of a political statement in and of itself. But it just so happened that that's not even what it was, but people are skewing it in that direction. Now I'm seeing people on YouTube other YouTubers chiming in, grabbing articles from wherever, not fact checking it, and regurgitating the same shit. These are the same people that'll try to say we're under a white supremacy system, but we're grabbing shit out of the cloud from their media, making statements and not fact checking it, and then going off about it and amplifying it. I mean, I don't know if I'm supposed to say names directly, but what shit, you said Cynthia G. I saw a video from her last night, and that just put extra fuel under my ass, like on some shit to get off the pot. Like, look, I knew what I had with the video that I produced, and it just happened by chance. She puts a video out talking about beta male swirler's white wife happens to catch BBQ Becky on camera and just goes off into her, as usual, tirades against black men. But this time she goes in and just indicts all of Oakland for cooning it up in response. But I'm like, you don't even know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So are you really about it for the people? You know what I mean? Like I was like, no. You blew yourself up. You blew yourself up. As I'm listening to her video, I'm like, you are reciting so much inaccurate shit. So what I did, I jumped up, put together a post, and was getting ready to send it to her. Then I was like, you know what? Fuck all this shit. For the first time ever, I'm about to go live on this AM1 channel. If you look on my channel, you'll see, went live last night, just was sleepy as fuck, just came off a gig. I was like, you know what? We're about to get this in, because this is, I've watched enough of her videos, not to super duper attack her. She's dropped a lot of gems. She says a lot of real shit. Clearly, she's hurt in some way about the plight of black folks. And I get that. I resonate with that. But to the point where you start getting ugly and destructive, now you're part of the problem. If 80% of your shit is black male, beta male swirlers, like a fucking trap song on repeat, beta male swirler, woo, beta male swirler, woo. Like every time I turn around, I'm like, dude, when are you gonna say some real shit that's really uplifting? Like the interracial dating shit, come on, that's a sidebar issue in the grand scheme of things. I'm gonna talk about that too, because that's a real, a lot of that is going on in the town as far as women being angry about the interracial dating shit. And I'm like, look, that's a sidebar issue. Calm your motherfucking nerves, calm your emotions down. Let's get strategic about it, because that's how they're tripping everybody up, capturing hearts and minds. But so what I did is put that piece together and I put it out. And it wasn't even in a response to anything more than I just wanted to show what it really was. And I put it out. But when I saw what she posted, I was like, everything you're saying is fucking inaccurate. And as much as you talk about showing receipts, even to this day, she put up some other video, I guess, in response to something about Tariq, and about something about black men, beta males, something else again, and about what do I have to lie about? She's literally saying that. I might actually take it down and, you know, chop it up and recite it back, whatever. You know, people be doing analysis on it, so it ain't no copyright issues or whatever. But I don't want to seem like my whole platform is just all about getting on her. I got a bunch of other shit to talk about, and I got my whole own shit. But this just kind of kicked it off, because I was like, I'm getting fed up with this shit. I'm seeing folks on here doing positive shit like you, Donovan Sharp. You know, a lot of folks I listen to. Again, I don't support everything anybody says. I don't support everything y'all be talking about. But y'all drop a lot of gems. And I'm smart enough to say, I'm going to take what I take and leave what I don't. You know what I'm saying? But there's content creators doing real cool shit. You guys are at least approaching it from a system of like brotherhood and helping each other out, as is literally happening as we speak. So it is what it is. But if you're just going to be hella negative like that, I'm like, nah. But basically, in this case, she stepped in boo-boo. She came at the town, and I had the gold, the piece of gold. I can say, nah, you stepped on a landmine. You stepped in the trap. You walk into it. So I posted this comment on her page, and she blocked me. What
was the comment you posted?
Man, it's on my live chat, but let me see. I sent it to myself because I wonder. I even said, like, will you delete this? I'm not on YouTube as much as I should be, so some of the ins and outs I'll be, you know, tripping off of. I got my head in a bunch of different shit. But let me try to find this. I sent it to myself, and on my live stream, I'm literally saying, just right now, I'm hitting send on it. Bam. Let's see if she deletes it. Since she's about truth, she has nothing to lie about receipts. I want to see her retract her statement and make a public apology to all of Oakland. And let's get that out there. I mean, if you're really about it, can you redeem yourself with some real shit like that? I would. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong in this current situation now. You guys go see it for yourself, and you tell me. I don't even want to sway your opinion. I said, Cynthia G has no clue what she's talking about. Want to see receipts? Then I put the link to where I posted the original piece that I built on my Website, allstreetlooks.com. It also goes under all goods and services because we really promote for Black entrepreneurship by way of goods and services. So that's, you know, like a dual branded type situation. We showing you the street shit and we're pushing for independent business economics.
Okay.
Wrap that up. It is a matter of fact that 510 Day just celebrated its 3rd year last week in Oakland. Yes. The BBQ BECKY situation just happened to coincide with an event that was already going to happen. Here now we have proof that Cynthia G is either willing to report false info and in a hostile and skewed way, or she's giving you, her followers, info that she simply has not researched enough and still in the same hostile and skewed way. What she has done is exactly what all of mainstream media does to Black people all the time. It's called slander, or at least in her case, it's ignorance. I'll be dropping more info on this on our other channel meaning All Street Looks. Let's see if Sin, who is about truth and receipts, will delete this comment. So it's funny because my business partner, she was looking, after I posted it, she was looking at the comments and she was just like, I don't see her comment. And I was like, well, I'll see it right here. But I'm looking at myself posting it. So I didn't realize that when they block you like that, you can still see it, but no one else can see it. So she kept looking at for it on her phone. She pulled it up on her laptop. It was like, nah, I can't see it. And then it dawned on me, oh, she fucking blocking me. At that point, I was like, oh no, I'm gassing. I'm sending this to whoever I can, Boys, Tariq, O'Shea, whatever. We was already kind of chatting back and forth with email, trying to, you know, kind of missing each other anyway. I was like, you know, let me drop this on him because this story is hot. Beyond even her, again, I'm not trying to come at her per se. She stepped in boo-boo and she's tracking it through her house. So I'm trying to help her clean it up. While at the same time, I'm trying to let people know the real story out of the town, because like I say, this should be one of the ground zero spots for Black folks getting it in and coming together. So hold on, you ain't gonna slander like that, especially to me, as hard as I go, while I'm in the middle of really trying to build it up. And I already have the receipts to show what I'm trying to do by way of the video piece that I'm even referencing right now, showing exactly how dope it is, showing the love and showing the intelligence by way of the interviews, as opposed to just going off the hinges and being like, Black folks are cleaning it up, man, elsewhere, that same little bullshit. I'm like, man, let's really think this shit through, not get super duper emo about it. I mean, she's just, you know, compounding the situation. What, for views? So the crazy part is, well, she has 20-something thousand viewers on that particular channel. She released that. In the comment section is crazy. There's some people that's like, nah, I don't think is what you're saying. But a lot of people was like, see, she's shaking her head. I'm like, damn, see, that's what really riled me up. The fact that people are buying into it. And in her video, she's referencing some other article. So by that logic, she's not even using her own critical thinking, so to speak. She's just taking some article, firing it off. Is she just trying to get views? She's doing her thing where she's like adding her own built-in commercials. I'm like, come on. Now, if you living, I ain't got no problem with somebody living. Everybody trying to get the bag. But when you're trying to get the bag at the expense of your own people, but then every other video is about we're living under a system-wide subsidy. I'm like, well, what is it really then? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's kind of the overall with that. But I mean, you know, any questions you have based on that, any little piece of that.
No, and so here's the thing, right? Like, hold on a second. Am I echoing you guys?
Am I echoing?
No, you're not echoing. Okay, it's good now. Here's the thing, man. What I've heard from, you know, like several YouTubers. It's echoing. It must be your channel. So I'm gonna mute you real quick. I think it's yours. So let me just mute you. Okay, so I'm muted. So when you want to talk, just unmute yourself. So here's the issue. Like, right, when you know, Black women in general on YouTube, they say a lot of different things like, oh, you guys don't know how to respond correctly to our points. Like you always talk about you know, weave, or you talk about makeup, or you talk about all these things. And then apparently what we have was a case of a brother, and even his response video, you will not hear him talking about weave. You will not hear him talk about how she looks or any of those things. He's just addressing the points. Basically what they say that Black men typically don't do. Like, don't get me wrong. I see a lot of, you know, if I see her in the chat room, other dudes, I see dudes taking shots at her or whatever. But this is not the case. You know what I'm saying? He's not, you know, being disrespectful to her at all. He just basically addressing the point and dealing with what she's talking about, and he still gets blocked. So I think, man, that's a big point, because you know, what you guys are saying, like, you know, there's no point in debating her. And like I said, she called out Anthony Brian Logan, who's not really in the, you know, Anthony Brian Logan's not really in the manosphere. So I was willing to just house the debate, you know what I'm saying, here on the channel. Just, you know what I mean? It's not like it's, you know, it's just for the manosphere to see. But yeah, let me get back to the brother, man, because I gotta commend him. He had a very respectful response. You can take yourself off of mute. You know, do that, right? No.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I got the earbuds too now, so I hope that'll mitigate the.
Yeah, you sound even more clear.
Okay. Yeah, man. No, I mean, I was just looking at it. Like, part of me was, you know, want to come from a heated sort of position. I'm like, I could really go in on this and really niggify it and really come in and turn up and get real ignorant with it. But then I was like, hold on, let me dial this back. I don't even need to get sick with it like that, because I just got straight facts and receipts. Right. And about to drop gems. And I'm like, you know what? Let the piece speak for itself. Like, between, if you see my live response, you look at her video, you look at my video piece, these things all just happen to coincide. It tells the story for itself. I went live on this AM1 channel, but the main video, as of now, the only place it exists online at all is on the All Street Looks channel. One word, All Street Looks. That's the name of the brand. Yeah, we do our own multimedia, fashion, all that. All Street Looks. So just on straight Black entrepreneurship, everything that she talks about, those points, those kind of gems, when she talks about that, I'm with that. Anybody, if you speak in facts, you speak in facts. It's truth, it's truth. But now, better man sweller. I'm like, whoa, I'm tired of that shit. So I just had to expose it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Whatever.
No, man, I definitely understand. Let me just do this real quick.
But yeah, it is that I want to come respectful, keep it calm, and keep it, you know, real G. But you made a good point. People talk about, you know, brothers coming at sisters, and, you know, the whole war, black men, black male, black female sort of thing. And I'm like, you know what? And you're looking at like Donovan Sharp, like he'll get on chicks' heads and say different shit, or be like, don't even come chat in my chat room and watch him go off. And I'm like, all right, it's a little over the top, but it's funny as fuck. But he drops gems. Y'all be on here dropping gems, or like Mr. Research gems. I really like you know, Jason Black, Professor Black Truth, like different folks. And I'm naming off these YouTubers specifically for the fact that I know a lot of people don't have a lot of time on their hands, but if they can sit down and just listen to some different people and get some different info, absorb it. You don't have to necessarily agree with everything, but it's just helping you, you know, peep game. I cite these different people because anybody can go do it. Not everybody has time to sit there and really do hours worth of research. So at least you can kind of get bites and bits of different things on the fly. So it makes it like no excuse for you to really peep game. There's, you know, within the sphere of Black YouTube, we got economics, we got social issues, we got dating shit, we got, you know, empowering Black men. We got folks like Chrissy trying to get it in for the dark-skinned Black women. Right. Colorism all day, every day, which I think is a sidebar issue and ultimately a waste of time bordering on just solidifying negativity.
We'll talk about that. I'll do an interview with you on that, because you're being a light-skinned guy. But let me just interrupt you real quick. There's one of my fellow YouTubers in here. He's in here trolling today, and I want everybody to stop the show, man. My man Wode Maya. Okay, you guys know him, right? That's my brother out of Ghana. You know what I mean? That's my boy Wode Maya, living in Beijing, China. All right, I want everybody, man, subscribe to my brother Wode Maya. You know what I'm saying? He need to give me a one-on-one interview. He gave me a group interview, but my man has grown on YouTube, man, over 60,000 subscribers. He's one of my favorite channels on Black YouTube. Me and him had an African versus African American, somewhat of a rebuttal. Guy's a real cool friend, man. I'm gonna fly out to Beijing and chill with my man, one of the best African YouTubers on planet motherfucking Earth. Wode Maya, go subscribe right now. You know who he is, right?
Yeah, I just realized who you're talking about. Yeah, over in China.
Yeah, that's my buddy right there. He need to stop playing with me, dog. So everybody fucks with O'Shea, man, over here. Even though I ain't as big as him, y'all niggas know. Okay, so we gets it in. So shout out to my brother again. I'm supposed to be doing an interview with AM1 out of Kenya, who's in Mexico right now. So you guys know, man, I hook up with all the brothers across the world. So I want to just, you know, shout him out, man. Wode Maya, man. He's a real good brother, man, out in China doing this thing. Great channel. Let's talk a little bit about what you got going on, man. Like, you know, as far as, you know, where do you see Black men? Because, you know, really, we're talking about gentrification. we're talking about the black community, but you know, I deal in black male community issues. I'll be honest and say I'm not really a black community person. I'm a black male community person. I'm concerned about black men first, foremost. You know what I'm saying? That's all I care about. It's all I really deal with. What's going on with the black men in Oakland? You know what I'm saying? You know, where are we at as a group of African American black men? What should we be doing? Leaving the women out of it. You know what I mean? What can we do to change our positions in your opinion?
Hey, that's big. That's something I think about a lot, and we'll definitely be going in more on my AM1 channel, my personal channel where I talk shit. So I definitely approach things from a collective standpoint as far as black folks getting it together in general. For better or for worse, for right or for wrong, it does appear that women are more susceptible to being led by emotion. So it does appear that women may be more susceptible to what mainstream media keeps funneling towards everybody because it captures hearts and minds.
Mm-hmm.
So to a certain degree, black folks are already on a level where we all we got. Black men seem like even a more micro version of we all we got. Like, hey, it seems like our sisters are being turned against us to a certain degree. I mean, you got Issa Rae out there pumping out some wild shit. But just real subtle slick shit, you know what I mean? Like, oh, HBO picks up her shit off YouTube, funnels it into this insecure thing and starts, you know, I guess her boyfriend was some dude laying up on a couch, kind of promoting the swirling type shit. You know what I mean? Like if you watch mainstream media and black people in mainstream, you'll see these agendas being laid out and rolled out, but it's so slick. So it's to the degree that if you say something about it, somebody can just call you a hater. It's absolute diabolical psychological warfare. Like the Black Panther movie, that was like the most ingenious double speak, triple speak, quadruple speak shit where you uplift the people while kicking the people down at the same time. And that's amazing. And, you know, I'm saying that as somebody coming right out of Oakland, where obviously Killmonger, you know, comes up out of. So that again hits close to home for me. And watching, you know, I watch people go crazy in the town about that. And I'm like, let's sit back and think it through. You can't say some shit like these people are oppressing us and they're doing all the shit to us. But then when I say, so you don't think they're using their media to oppress us too? Nah, they ain't doing that. I'm like, wait a minute, where's the psychological disconnect there? You stop there. I mean, if you understand and you read and you understand warfare and science, the repetition factor, the bypassing your logic, going straight to your subconscious, giving you these images. If you really understand how that works, then you know, of course, they're going to weaponize our media against us. So if that is true, and it is putting women into a position where they're buying into certain ideas, then the black man is really targeted. And it makes sense. In a warfare scenario, go for the men first, because they're going to be the ones who have the highest probability of defending the people. Obviously, there's a hit campaign on the black family. There's a lot of different things. Now, as far as the interracial dating shit, which we can get into, I'll definitely get into on my channel. That's a sidebar issue right now, because for me, the top of the list appears to be us controlling our own media, which is why it's important for black folks, black men, to really get it in and link up. So overall, to your question, we got to really come together, and it has to be from a standpoint of, you know, not being all emo about the shit and just being strategic. I mean, are we ready to man up and soldier up? You know what I mean? They keep calling us out saying the black men are not protecting us, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, look, the black man is trying to survive and live. Yes, there are a lot of dusty ass niggas doing dusty shit that want to be lazy, who will take the path of least resistance and go lay up on the couch of some Becky chick and just play video games and drink up her Kool-Aid. Sure, I know a lot of cats who roll like that, and I back up off them. And I'm like, bro, you need to get your shit together, because you're making us all look bad. Those are the kind of dudes that set it up to where somebody can grab them and uplift them into some kind of star, and they drag us all down, because then now they get to be foisted into the mainstream. So we got to be that much more careful about how we represent ourselves, because then other people can use that to represent us. We don't control our own narrative and our own view. It's dangerous. But I mean, we really got to clamp down, focus on building some true economics, not being on some fake flossing. Dudes is, like, you know, worried about, I know there's different, you know, numbers as far as economics, what black folks are spending money on. But as far as here in the Bay, I can't speak for, you know, the world at large or even the nation at large, but I do see a lot of trying to floss and trying to cop you know, top name brand shit, just on some flossing and kicking it and just turn up shit, having fun. Man, I'm trying to have fun. I'm in my 20s. I'm trying to build memories and enjoy myself. I'm like, okay, do you understand what's happening? Black wealth numbers is looking shady. They're trying to genocide us up out of here. What, 1 in 3 black men locked up? I mean, just looking at all these numbers from a strategic standpoint, I'm like, I'm sorry, if you in your 20s, you're trying to have fun and make memories, you might have to turn that in. I'm sorry. If Sister Soldier said we are at war on a Public Enemy album, I think in '89. Here we are, damn near 30 years out from that. If we are still at war, it's time to rally the troops. We ain't got time for the R&R shit every damn day. You feel me? Like, what's the deal? That's kind of my standpoint on that. Like, we need mirrors in our own faces. Black men, stand up. I'm saying back up off the chicks. I'm ready to propose a wild idea. Like, dudes is way too much control by their dick and they nuts. You need to go put your nuts away. Like, unscrew that shit off, put it away, because your dick is guiding you in a way where you're not thinking logically, which is akin to women saying, all I care about is I want to have a man and have a family, to the point where they're not thinking about building for the people. You know what I mean? It's like two sides of the same coin. It's distractions, it's sidebar issues. I'm saying, everybody, women, put your pussy away. Dudes, put your dick away. You go to your corner, you go to your corner, you sort that shit out yourself. We gonna sort our shit out. Because apparently if you say something about the women, then you're on some beta male shit. You're moist because you're talking about women's issues. Okay. But men, we apparently, if we talk about each other, the square niggas don't want to get at the niggas that's on some hood shit because they're hot right now and they're cool and they're lit, or maybe they just on some wild shit where they'd be more likely to try to fight. You know what I mean? So it's a tricky game. Like, you know what I mean? I don't have all the answers, but I'm just like, don't try to tell me you a man and you on some real shit, but you doing wild shit that's helping drag your people down. I don't know, man. There needs to be more, like you said, more brothers come together, and it shouldn't just be just online. There's some cats doing some things in Oakland, like more media is coming up. I was just at a thing last night. My dude, he does Umber Magazine. You guys look up Umber Magazine. That's from a brother out here who's an artist doing some real dope stuff. I actually helped him last year with his fundraiser campaign to get it started. I produced this video for him, and he hit his number, got his 10 racks, and he's building. He's about to drop his second issue. It's like a men's art. It's not even just men's, but it's black art. The type of shit real niggas don't do. It's on some like high-end art type stuff from a black male perspective, but he's really inclusive. He put together a really dope team. I say all that to say, to address what you said, there are black men who are really trying to get it in, but our efforts are being stifled to a certain degree by folks who are like, nah, nigga, we just out here on the block, and don't judge us. Don't try to shame us. I don't know. Like, what do we do against that? Like, imagine being in a war, the enemy shooting at you, but low key, some of your own comrades want to just fuck off and just drink 40s or just chill and blow weed all day and just worry about turning up. Like, how the fuck you gonna win your war? I mean, am I a hater for that? For thinking like that? Like, what's the deal?
Oh man, you're definitely not a hater. Let me shout out to my man Edward Anderson. Had to donate due to speaking that 100. Shout out to my man Edward Anderson for the donation. So guys, this is what we want to do. Like I said, for people who are seeing the chat, you want to know who the brother is. It's AM1. His channel's in the description. And we're gonna come right back, after this show, because I'm about like 30 minutes, something like that. Is white terrorism real? That's the name of the show. So it's gonna be. I wish we could do. I'm gonna work in getting the call-in feature back, but we're gonna have people discussing it tonight. So let's go ahead and get the likes up, guys, and get the subscriptions up to the brother. Just in the last few minutes, man, I want to thank him for coming on, man, and rocking. Again, he was not a brother that was like reaching out like, yo, man, let me get an interview or nothing like that. I actually reached out to him, just saying, you know what, man, I talked to him a few times through email, and I was just like, hey, come on. So a lot of guys, man, I work with dudes like that have like almost, like 500,000 subscribers, like Chris Jones, Pump Chasers. You guys just saw Wode Maya in here. He has like 65,000 subscribers, something crazy. And this brother has like 41 subscribers. So it just goes to show you, man, you can get good content from the brothers. It doesn't matter, what the subscriber count is. We have a lot of smart black men here in the community. So I want to just thank him for coming on. Is there anything you want to just let the brothers know? Ooh, Stetter Jackson. Let the brothers know, man, before we get up out of here.
Man, I mean, first and foremost, and most importantly, I just want to thank you for, just keeping it real, come with the dope content. I mean, I feel like you guys are really trying to build for the brothers and kind of putting your money where your mouth is, putting your time into it. That's a dope sacrifice. And it's fun, it's entertaining. And why can't we control our own talent, our own media while having highbrow discussions all the way to some funny, ratchet, turn up shit? I mean, we can have that spectrum. We can own that. That's us, but we got to balance it out. But like I was saying, I appreciate you reaching out. I like what you guys are doing. Definitely want to support you guys. This is just more fuel for me to just keep, coming with some intelligence. I'm definitely going to be dropping more stuff on this AM1 channel. I was just getting on the edit the night before last, but just had to, turn it in. But definitely about to do more on this channel. Also follow All Street Looks. Check out the website. We got content on there. But definitely check out the video that I did. It's the 510 day interviews. I forgot what I named it, but you'll see it. It's on All Street Looks. I might even drop it on this AM1 channel, but I do want to try to aggregate the content there. I do want to get the numbers up there because I'm kind of on a level of like, let's start getting this shit out there because we do need to own it and control it. But no, I appreciate you, O'Shea, and your following, real dope. I'm already seeing some people that, kind of chimed in and tapped in and started following the channel. So I really appreciate that motivation. Definitely motivates me to, keep with it. But definitely about to be dropping a lot of fire shit. Again, I do motion graphics, I do video editing, so I'm gonna be coming with a lot of that on All Street Looks. But I'm gonna just be talking shit on my AM1 channel, just like we're doing right now, and hopefully, tap in with you in the future. Come on some hangouts and get it in on some of these topics.
All right. So, I mean, again, thank you so much. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna close this hangout out in Jay Miller Podcast. We're gonna do the white terrorism in female terrorism against black men shows like 20 minutes. So depending on how that goes, I might have to come off a Patreon. So we're gonna get Jay Miller in here. Guys who want to get in, Edward Anderson, all the long-winded. Yeah, that's the guy I'm talking about. Long-winded. That's Edward Anderson, dog. He's more long-winded than you, dog. You're gonna find out if you listen to this show. So I want to thank you, brother, for coming on, man. You from my home state. When I hear a brother, that's from Cali, Sacramento, LA, the Bay Area, Northern California, even the West Coast. I know how it is trying to link up with black men there. So I will show more precedence towards somebody from my state sometimes. So you know what I mean. But I work with all the brothers. If I can get you in. I'm definitely gonna get you in. I'm working with a brother from Brazil. I'm looking for I Am Mara out in Mexico right now. Al Grease, the film producer, nigga, playing with me, dog. If you hear me, you're playing with me because you supposed to be got back to me last week, nigga. All right, you playing with my emotions right now. We got Rom Wills on Wednesday. We got New Possibilities on Sunday for open, open discussion. Anybody want to debate him? He'll be on Sunday. So we got a whole bunch of brothers coming through. New Possibilities as a civil rights attorney for the NAACP. I don't bring no bullshit niggas on my channel. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. So anybody that come on here, they got something to offer. So you know what I mean? So another thing before I leave, the Realities Temples Ministries and Brother Ben X. I'm willing to put up a debate for them as far as what has the Nation of Islam done for black people. So Brother Ben X, I'll contact him. I'll contact Realities Temple because Realities Temple is an ex-Nation of Islam member, and Brother Ben X is currently in the nation. So that's something that I'm willing to put up also here in the manosphere. But brother, thank you, man. Thank you for your talents. Thank you for trying to, help our people back out in Cali, our black folks. You know what I'm saying? It's hard dealing with, I gotta say, dealing with niggas is a hard job. Nigga. It's hard. But you know what I mean? I would have been the fuck out of there. Once the nigga would have asked me for $5, let alone a gun, you wouldn't have seen me no more. I ain't never even been robbed in my city, nigga. And I don't even like going back just because of the loud music. You know what I'm saying? In Cali, it's like niggas will be in the middle of the street. You pull up, right? You driving, turning onto your block. It's a nigga in front of you and another nigga the other way around in the middle of the damn street having a conversation, and you in the back behind them niggas like waiting for them to drive off or move forward.
That's
And, if you honk the horn, them niggas will get mad at you. What the fuck you doing, nigga? Like you only deal with that bullshit back home, dog. Them niggas will be in the middle of the street just having a conversation, not just pulling off to the side of the fucking road, just right there in the middle of the motherfucking street.
Facts.
So
facts.
Yeah, music hella loud, just hella loud as they can. And you know, when you live overseas, man, you don't really hear that shit, dog. You don't hear that shit. When you go back home, it's like, God damn, nigga, why your music so fucking loud? That was the hardest thing. But brother, thank you for coming on. Guys, we'll be back in like 30 minutes. Schedule the new show. Anything else you want to say, fam, real quick?
No, man, I appreciate you, bro. Like, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tap in on, you know, sit in while I'm working, listen to the next piece. But no, I appreciate you again. Appreciate your following. Tap in with me. I mean, definitely gonna be linking with O'Shea, doing some more work. Kind of talking about some other things offline. Ready to, you know, contribute some of my skills, add some value to the manosphere, and try to big it up for the black men, empower us, you know, for the people in general, though. Like, you know what I mean? But no, I appreciate you, man.
All right, brother. So look, we're gonna come back with the show in a few minutes. Peace out, y'all.